welcome back to the streaming studio. I'm Becky Phelps.
And I'm Joe Winters on a very cold morning.
Maybe the coldest I recall in recent memory. Yeah, it was brutal.
Be interesting to look back. Haven't thought about that, how cold we've been in the last several years compared to this morning. But yeah, it was cold. The temperatures, as expected,
yes,
well down into the minus teens and wind chills well below that.
We have been warning you. Our incredible weather team has been alerting you for days now what to expect. So hopefully you were bundled up if you had to go outside. And if you didn't, hopefully you are staying warm inside.
It was amazing watching some of our city cams during the midday show because they were just quiet. There was not a lot of traffic, not a lot of people out. So I think people knew and heeded the warnings that you need to heed during this time and just decided, you know something, we'll do that. I went last night to get a grocery pickup. I will give you a tip. Don't ever schedule a grocery pickup on a night before an extreme cold warning.
Okay.
I waited an hour and 15 minutes past my grocery pickup time for my groceries. Every slot was filled. And there were people waiting in line to pull into different slots.
You were in the parking lot for an hour and 15
hour and
minutes?
15 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So don't ever, it was like I said, it's a French toast morning. Bread, eggs, milk, going off the shelves probably. I could have walked in and got it sooner. The pickup was my mistake. But everybody wanted to do it. So everybody heard the cold was coming and wanted to get their groceries early. An hour and 15 minutes by the time I got there, they said it was ready.
Wow.
So
I did the smarter version of
yes,
prepping.
you probably did. What did you do?
Well, I went to my parents' house and had dinner with them. And when I left my parents' house, I had a lot of groceries.
Well,
Shout out to my mom.
Next time, maybe just stop by and knock on your parents' door and say, hey, they're a little slow here. What do you got?
I know you're stocked up. They're always ready for anything.
Yeah, that's good. So people obviously, knew it was going to happen and prepared for it, and that's why we're not seeing a lot of people out in spots today.
Absolutely. I had my double socks on. I had a turtleneck on earlier. So many layers. And I want to give a huge shout out to our coworker, Emily Schrod, who has supplied me with hot hands for the day, which are a lifesaver because it's cold outside and it's cold in here too. So this is really helping me out.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you have something to help you besides your double socks. Your hands are not going to be warm as well.
I am protected all over.
First alert day, of course, in effect. We've talked about that. It's going to continue, not only today, but it's going to continue through Saturday morning. Now, does it get better? Absolutely. It's already getting better outside. We're seeing wind chills now this afternoon, probably 20 to 30 below. We had some wind chills reported near Charles City down to about 47 below this morning. There are areas of Wisconsin that got down to 50 below for the wind chill, not the air temperature. So frostbite as we head through the remainder of our first alert day into Saturday morning, about 15 to 30 minutes if you are not dressed appropriately. As a result, we're not under extreme cold warning. We're now under a cold advisory.
Okay,
well,
a little better.
It's still cold, right?
Still cold.
Still cold. 15 to 30 on the wind chill all the way through that time. And again, frostbite, as we said, in as little as 30 minutes. Here's how things look as far as our wind chill forecast remaining. And there you go. Again, it's improvement.
And it looks like improvement, and then you see that the warmest temperature on there is a negative 13 wind chill.
Yeah, I mean, and it is, but it still is super cold. Still is super cold. So that's why we keep that first alert day in effect. Let's see if we can pull out the current wind chills right now if you're stepping outside, because it has been down close to minus 35, 38 for periods of time. Here's the current.
Oh, Lord.
See what it's like right now if you're headed out for lunch. A balmy 21 below in Washington, down to about 34 below right now in Fayette.
Yeah,
that's current.
A brisk negative 32 in downtown Cedar Rapids.
30 below if you're headed out in Dubuque.
At exactly 5 feet off the ground.
Yes,
which I
on your face.
Yes. That was huge for me. I want to say, we are educating people with some of these weather live streams. Corey taught me last night.
What's that?
Not to wear tight layers, to wear loose layers.
Because of?
Because the loose layers will help actually keep you warmer. And if it's too tight, it's sometimes
well, you get a little, so there's a little bit of air.
Yes, air pockets.
Insulation.
The air
so you have a little more insulation if it's a little loose. If it's tight, you don't get that extra insulation.
One of our producers came by my desk today and said, I heard you guys saying that. I didn't know that. I learned that. So she also dressed accordingly. I changed my plans.
Good.
And we are all learning. together.
And that's what we want to do. We want to do that so you can deal with the cold temperatures when we have the cold temperatures
Which
outside.
are no joke. This is just something else, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It is dangerous if you're not dressed appropriately, right? Do we have this every year in Iowa? Yes. We always get temperatures at least some point down to cold levels. When it gets to an extended period of time, it can build, kind of like heat, right? If we have hot temperatures for one day, yeah, we can deal with it. 2 days, okay, it gets 3, 4, 5, it gets draining. Same thing with the cold. Thankfully, this isn't a huge, long-lasting, bitter cold outbreak, but
very thankful.
We'll take a look at what we're expecting for the next 9 days. It's not going to warm up. I mean, you're not going to want to go outside and ride a bike, right? We've got temperatures overnight tonight down to about 12 below. On Saturday, we'll be up to 2 above. So from this morning all the way through Saturday afternoon in Cedar Rapids, we're staying below 0. We drop below 0 then on Sunday morning as well as Monday morning. And even next week, we're looking at teens for highs, overnight lows near the 0 mark there. Maybe a little snow here and there we have to throw in. We'll watch that. But that still is not balmy by any means, and still is below normal. Normal high now in the mid to upper 20s. So it's cold. We're dealing with the coldest right now. And again, it's not long lasting as far as the bitter cold.
The mid-20s sound incredible right now.
I think when we get toward next Saturday at 21 degrees, everybody's going to be excited. Even that 19 on Tuesday, people will probably just be like, wow, this is fantastic.
It's going to feel good. It's going to feel good.
Maybe not a 2-sock day.
Maybe. One pair of very thick socks, perhaps. We'll see how brave I'm feeling on Tuesday. Stay tuned for that. That's a different kind of forecast.
It is.
How many socks am I wearing?
Maybe we should probably put that forecast together for you and use that so you know how many to wear.
If you find a good graphic for it, I will consider.
Okay, we'll find. We'll see
what
we can do.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Obviously, this has been a huge focus for our weather team. Also, our news team has been working on keeping everyone up to date on how the cold weather is impacting people in the community. We have most of our reporters are focusing on the cold today and the impacts that it is making. We have one of our reporters talking with Alliant today to talk about the impact on the power grid.
Okay.
Obviously, the cold can sometimes knock that out in certain places. Texas was pretty heavily impacted a while back. So talking to Alliant about how they prepare for things like this, how confident they are that they can withstand the cold, and then how they respond if there are issues. We are also talking to some farmers who really don't have an option to stay completely out of the cold. A lot of them, have some cattle perhaps. They have to keep going outside.
Sure.
Making sure that the water their cattle are drinking isn't frozen, making sure that the cattle are okay. TV9's Keegan Turnbow spoke to a farmer who said that he built a wind barrier specifically for events like this to help the cattle out. And we have also some folks talking to some of the universities around Eastern Iowa who have taken some different approaches to the cold.
That was interesting because both Iowa State and Iowa both did either go to virtual learning or interesting.
Yeah. University of Iowa's virtual today, just like Cedar Rapids Community School District. Right. Mount Mercy still has school, and Kirkwood still has school. An interesting thing about Mount Mercy, though, they are kind of uniquely prepared for this.
Okay.
They have underground tunnels on their campus.
I did not. I've never been in.
Yeah.
Have you been in the underground?
I have not.
I've never either. I didn't really know that they were out there.
So we sent actually one of our interns here at TV9 and one of our photographers out to Mount Mercy to go in the tunnels, see if they can find some students.
Sure.
So that I'm very much looking forward to that report because that is so unique.
Well, it keeps you out of the wind, it keeps you out of the snow, the cold, the rain, whatever would be happening. So what a great way to go from building to building.
Absolutely. It's like they were prepared for this.
Yeah, we're
going to have to do a history lesson on those tunnels sometime.
That's interesting. No, I did not know they existed.
In that. But yeah, so those are some of the things our reporters are working on concerning the cold. That's coming up in our 4, 5, and 6 o'clock newscasts.
And one thing also, it's online, you can get it now. Our own Brian Tabak went out and talked to an arborist about this tree cracking and exploding that we talked about.
Yes.
He will verify what we talked about last night, that we didn't see any trees explode last night.
Thankfully.
They don't explode. So
they don't explode.
Take a look at that at kcrg.com. It's out there as well, and you can get the official arborist explanation.
Yes, that was a great story from Brian Tabak, and an important debunking. I
Yes,
think
please.
It was all over social
Loved
media.
that it was a fact check. I loved it.
Yeah. Now, it's not just impacting Iowa, the cold.
Right.
It is impacting the country in many ways. I know some people who have moved or canceled their travel plans because of how widespread this storm is.
Well, and some canceled because they looked ahead and said, hey, I'm not going to go. Some are canceled because their flights aren't just going to take off. And this is going to be something that you're going to hear about nationally all the way through the weekend. We look ahead to noon, and we've got a storm system starting to develop across areas of the plains. But we look down toward Texas and Oklahoma by the evening hours. There's already that purple color you see, some sleet or some ice that's forming down there, some snow back across the northern plains. As that system moves through, it's got ample moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, so by tomorrow morning, near Memphis, some heavy snow, areas of Arkansas, southern Missouri, back from southern Oklahoma through Dallas into northern areas of Louisiana, and that just progresses up through the Tennessee Valley and up through the Ohio Valley as well as we work through the upcoming weekend, and more delays, especially air travel. Certainly anything traveling by auto is going to be very, very hard to get through. And with that, the ice and stuff, sure, but there's also potential for some heavier snowfalls down to the south, Kansas City, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Cincinnati. But Iowa, we will be affected, but just by a glancing blow. Doesn't look like we're going to see much at all.
Go
In
Iowa.
fact, the latest, we're on the north side. If we're on really the coldest side, which we can feel right now, there's some light snow out there. We talked about this yesterday, south of 80, probably south of Highway 34, and that's overall what we're looking like later on Saturday into the day on Sunday. And you can see the trace to maybe 2 inches far, far south. If there's any snow out there in Iowa, of course, that's a slippery spot or stretch, but the majority of us don't see anything at all, while the nation deals with just this brutal system. Not necessarily with the cold, but with the brutal storm system moving through as far as wintry precipitation.
Absolutely. Anyone planning on driving right now in this weather, I also want to put out our sister station, KWQC, did a fantastic story about electric vehicles and how they're impacted by the cold.
Interesting.
Which is significantly.
I bet.
Yeah. So the cold weather can really reduce the battery performance and driving range. I found this so important to know. So an electric vehicle normally capable of traveling 300 miles on a full charge, that drops down to 200 miles in freezing conditions.
Okay.
So if you are driving an electric vehicle and you're planning to go anywhere, be so aware of your route and where the charging stations are, and maybe don't plan to go as far as you normally go.
Sure.
You do not want to get stranded, especially in these freezing conditions.
No, not at all, because you want to, prepare your car for that if you're going to be traveling, but you don't want to. But you notice it with your electronic devices too.
Yes.
If you're out a lot in the cold, your cell phone battery, same concept, right, is not going to last that long. I remember sometimes we would do live shots in the cold with our iPad, and suddenly by 4:30, 5 o'clock, the iPad's gone from battery life because of the cold. Batteries and cold don't get along really well.
Absolutely. So just something to keep in mind as that cold kind of sticks around the next couple days.
Yeah,
and be aware of.
And really sticking around overall, possibly even into the early part of February. We're not talking the bitterly cold. Don't get worried.
not the dangerous.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean we can't see another blast of that come back, because that
Sure.
can happen as well. But certainly looks colder than we started January, which was very mild.
We also do have a number of warming centers that have opened because of the dangerous cold that we are seeing across eastern Iowa. In Lynn County, the Cedar Rapids libraries are open, and there is a newly renovated winter shelter that is open for the overnight hours starting at 4 o'clock. So if anyone needs that resource, there is an overnight shelter in Lynn County. Shelter House in Iowa City also has an overnight winter emergency shelter. And up in Dubuque, there are a number of places open due to the extreme cold. Bunker Hill Golf Course is open, the Dubuque Rescue Mission. They do have an overnight shelter specifically for men. The Dubuque Rescue Mission is open for men. And all of that information is up on our website right now, so you can go to kcrg.com. If you know someone who needs help, someone who needs a place to get warm
Right.
or to stay overnight, make sure they're aware of those resources.
And take advantage of that if you can, because that'll help some folks out sooner. And check on your friends, your neighbors too. Make sure their furnace is working fine. Make sure they're doing all right in the cold as well. And don't forget your pets. They are affected just as much by the wind chill as we are. Trees are not with the wind chill, but pets are, so keep the pets in mind as well.
Absolutely. Anything else we want to make sure people know?
Let's just once again
update.
reiterate the first alert day continues through Saturday morning because we still are seeing the cold wind chills. We're looking at from now through Saturday morning probably 20 to 30 below wind chills, so a 15 to 30 minute frostbite time. That cold weather advisory remains in effect basically until noon. I think if you join us tomorrow morning, you'll see some of those counties taken out. Doesn't mean, again, that it's going to be super warm. No, it's just out of that advisory or dangerous area. And there's once again the wind chill forecast looking at minus 30 or so right now, all the way up to about, well, if you're headed out this evening, 25 below or so by 6 p.m. Even by tomorrow morning at 9, we're looking at 20 below. So improvement, yes. Still cold, yes.
Absolutely. Stay safe. Don't let your guard down just because you see things maybe trending upwards. Upwards is good, but it's not warm.
And it's funny, the RAGBRAI announcement comes up on Saturday night. People are thinking warm.
It's hard to imagine RAGBRAI weather right now.
Let's just say, I'll guarantee this. It will be warmer in July than we're seeing today. I'll just guarantee that.
And you can take that to the bank.
You can. If it isn't, boy, we are in for one heck of a different RAGBRAI.
No, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say, if it's this cold in July, I'll do RAGBRAI. You know,
Wow. Well.
At that point, I don't think we'll be doing RAGBRAI if it's this cold in July. All right, I think that's all we've got for you here on this live stream out of the streaming studio. Corey and AJ will be back on stream at 6:30. Of course, you can stay up to date with us through the 4, 5, and 6 o'clock newscasts. But Corey and AJ will have another weather update for you guys on the live stream at 6:30. Have a great evening.